find in the darkest reaches of your mind. Come, step into my world of twisted illusion. Witness the birth of fear.
Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another Path of Exile League. This one looks like it's going to be a nice and spicy one, exactly up my alley with what I like to be doing in Path of Exile, which is obviously just killing tons of mobs, running through the map very fast, killing a bunch of stuff. This one's going to be sick. It seems like it's kind of like a synthesis almost kind of thing. You're going to step through the mirror and it's going to start affecting the entire map with fog. Everything the fog touches needs to be killed, which is exactly what we will be doing this league. Obviously last league was a little more focused on killing one kind of high HP target to get your loot. This one's going to be killing many low HP targets to get all of your loot. So this one obviously is going to be focused a lot more on clear speed. Here we've got bows. This is actually going to be a bow league, unlike last time. That was not really a bow league. I mean, it kind of was if you had a lot of money. But to kill those metamorph bosses, I mean, it was really, really a struggle. But this one, you know, you're going to walk through the portal here. The fog is going to start reaching out. It's going to start covering the whole map, and you just need to be clearing. You've got to be killing everything, because everything that is affected by this delirium fog, it's going to have increased loot. You know, obviously it's going to be a little harder to kill. That's going to be all right, because we're all god gamers here, right? We're going to have sick builds, sick league starts. We're going to get all of that loot. It's going to be a good one. And here, so the normal delirium seems to only affect the map for probably like 1 minute, something like that. But you saw here we have the orbs of delirium, and so these are going to modify your map. You know, it's kind of like a extra little map currency. You know, yes, you will have to deal with another thing, you know, for rolling your maps or whatever, but look at this stuff. It adds a modifies a map item, adding layers of delirium with the gem reward type. So we've got gems, we've got blight reward type. That's sick, dude. Blights are awesome. So we can have, you know, extra little blight stuff in our map. Divination cards, that's going to be pretty wild. It depends on, you know, kind of how that stuff is rolled. But, you know, divination cards are always fun. Probably a bunch of stacked decks, which are awesome. If you want to sell them or, you know, get a little lucky, get some House of Mirrors and all that. And then, you know, you get one that drops extra maps. That would be sick. You know, right at the start of the league, you get to do a whole map and it's going to drop a bunch of stuff for you. You get to progress your Atlas a lot more. Or you put it on a T16 and get a bunch of other maps. Of course, it wouldn't be a clear speed league if they didn't add some splinters. Wow, some splinters. Stacks of 100 splinters. Pick them all up. And you get, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, a simulacrum. I'm pretty sure I said that right, actually, first time. El Mayo. So this is going to be like the Breachstone, right? It's going to be the end game kind of like boss or end game area. I imagine it's sort of going to be like a breach kind of thing. Opens a delirium portal, can only be used once. You know, how do you defeat that which dwells within you? Ooh, maybe we'll be fighting a delirium version of our own build. That would be a little sick and a little spooky, which would kind of fit in with this league's theme. Also, wow, look at this passive tree stuff. They're like modifying the passive tree. That's going to be pretty cool. So these outer jewel sockets, you're going to be able to put jewels in here. It's going to add like a whole nother cluster, and some of these clusters you add will also have another jewel socket. So who would have thought you'd be able to also add a whole nother jewel in there? So you can just keep those clusters going till you get something a little spicy that you like. These jewels are also going to be able to be rolled. Let's go back. I think it was right before this. You could see we have the jewel here. So it has an implicit. So add 6 passive skills. Added small passive skills grant 10% increased flask effect duration. And so it even kind of tells you here. So 20% increased damage during a flask effect. Yeah, you guys can read that and pause it if you'd like. But notice you can chaos it, but the implicit here. So still 6 passive skills. And the small passive skills grant 10% increased flask effect duration. So you can get a pretty sick implicit on these cluster jewels and still be re-rolling for, something else. Maybe you don't need fire res or life regen. You might have like fall pact or something. You can just re-roll it if you've got a pretty cool implicit, which is going to be very, very nice. And you see here, you're able to branch out. There's new keystones. That's going to be pretty cool. Figuring out what you need for your keystones. Look at all this. We've got some extra curse stuff. Maybe get some more curse effect on the tree. Planning your trees is going to be a little more difficult now that you might have to take some things off of. You might have to take some points off of other places on your tree and, kind of figure some stuff out. But once you start hitting that end game, you might get some really cool jewels and actually have like nutty tree branches. You get a nice little life wheel. These jewel sockets on the outer side are going to be very, very valuable. Rolling these jewels is going to be a ton of fun. I mean, look at this. It just keeps going. Look at all, I wish I could add this tab, right? Like, I feel like this is even bigger than a quad tab. But I mean, look at all this stuff. Small passive skills grant 5 lightning res. Each one is granting 6 flat life. That's pretty cool. The hollow palm technique, they talk about that at the end. Palms, right? Unhanded or unarmed. More unarmed stuff. So maybe some cool face breaker builds going on. And this is just one of the new unique notables that they're going to add. There's going to be a ton of build enabling things. It should be pretty cool. You see we got a flat 27 evasion rating for the small ones. Flat life I think is going to be pretty sick. Getting 2 to all attributes and flat ES, like these are just going to be wild. It's going to be so much more fun building out your tree and figuring out what you want, which is kind of, we kind of needed a little tree update, right? Like the tree's kind of been pretty much the same for a while now. You get your jewels. Yeah, you can have all those extra Legion jewels and all that. You can be putting those on there, and they kind of modify this stuff. But I mean, this is going to be branching out. You actually get to kind of determine more a little what your new kind of tree is going to look like. Whereas with the Legion jewels, you kind of like just divine it, and it's like, oh, what does this do? What is it adding? These, it's a little more deterministic. You know exactly what you're getting and exactly what you're looking for. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be a little tricky pricing this stuff, but hey, that's where you can make your money. When things are a little harder to price, if you figure it out, that's where you become the moneymaker. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an absolute clear speed kind of meta here, especially in normal maps. This stuff's only lasting, in limited time. It's not the whole map, for the whole duration. So you got to be a little quick about it, especially if you want to reach the map boss while it still has this Delirium fog on it. And I think that'll be pretty important. It'll be a little boost to your map bosses, which you should be obviously killing, especially at the league start. You want to get all those extra map drops. But yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a ton of fun, especially with the passive tree changes. There's a new wand skill. We can see that a little bit. Let's see. We can see the new wand skill a little bit at the start of the video. You can see the person clearing through right here. It almost looks, it's kind of like a almost arc kind of chaining a bunch to a ton of different things, except, you get to shoot it out. So it's kind of like free chaining on your wand. Obviously, we've got to wait to see if it's going to be better than Kinetic Blast. But it should be pretty cool to have more wand skills, considering it's been pretty stagnant on the wand side, whereas bows, we got a bow league last time, which, was pretty all right. But yeah, it's going to be a sick league. This is going to be clear speed. It's like a whole new passive tree kind of thing going on. Who knows how many jewels we can have on here. Maybe the meta is going to be just going to those outer jewel sockets, and you just go ahead and only do those outer jewel sockets. I don't know. It depends, but we'll just have to wait and see. On top of everything, this Delirium is going to be affecting Abyss encounters. It's going to be affecting breaches, Alva missions. Oh god, it's going to be it's going to be affecting Betrayal encounters. That's going to be a little annoying, and even Legion encounters. That's going to be insane. Legions are already crazy, but ramping up those Legion rewards is going to be even better. So these orbs of Delirium we saw, you can add them to a map, but you don't have to add just one. You can add up to 5. So we see this one probably has 2 because players in area are 40% delirious. So each one probably adds a 20% delirious. So we've got Delirium reward currency and fossils. That's pretty snazzy for sure. So endgame maps are going to be even better to be running. You're going to be able to add so much more loot to them by being able to make this entire area from the start delirious, with up to 5 orbs being able to use. Who knows, what these are going to be priced at and how good they actually are. I'm betting they're going to be pretty good. So that's going to be even more fun on top of everything else. Of course, we talked about the new endgame map. 280 new notables. That's a pretty big number, but most of the interesting stuff, it's probably going to be a little bit lower than 280. At 280 it can't all be super interesting. Here we've got the hollow palm. You count as dual wielding while you are unencumbered, 60% more attack speed while you're unencumbered, and then you get some flat fizz per 10 dex while you are unencumbered. Ooh, unencumbered. No gloves, main hand or offhand. So GG, face breakers unhand. Looks like it's going to be dex stacking, unarmed, no gloves, straight up just slapping people with your hands builds. So that should be pretty fun. I think this is going to be a pretty cool part. So we've got some end game improvements. So we've made Conquer spawn deterministic, reintroduced vendor, the sextant vendor recipes, yeah, and extra incentives, to reach higher awakening levels. I like that. Revamped Vol side areas, thank god. If you were watching me that whole time I was playing, doing maps and Vol side areas, you just had to skip them. They just were not worth it, and they would also crash your instance. It was so weird. You weren't able to leave them, and then you just had to leave your game and restart it. It was so dumb. But I'm glad they kind of made it less deterministic, because a lot of people were just getting unlucky, right? If something has a 33% chance, some people are going to only need 3 or maps or whatever to spawn them. Some people are going to be doing 10 maps, and never get a spawn just because they're unlucky. And it's hard to tell if you were messing something up or if you were doing something right and just being unlucky. It kind of just felt bad. This will be pretty nice though. You get a little bar. It's ooh, I'm filling the bar. I filled the bar. That feels good. Instead of just I'm randomly doing this. Please spawn. I really need this. So that should be nice, especially for people who are still, a little bit confused from last time. We've got 4 new skills, 3 new supports. Of course, you've always got to have new skills. Look at this. We've got an arc wand jewel. That sounds pretty cool. Blade blast detonates blades that are now left behind by ethereal knives, blade vortex, and blade fall. Wow, that's going to be pretty sick. That's exactly what EK needed was, and blade vortex is more AoE potential. So that's cool. Cool. Kinetic bolt. Ooh, not KB. Well, still KB, I guess, but kinetic bolt. Thank you for making these names so easy. Fire projectile from your wand that bounces back and forth, forking with each bounce. Spell damage further empowers the wand attack. Ooh, okay. So we've got a spell damage scaling wand attack. That's pretty cool. We've also got Stormbind. I was gonna say Place storm runes on the ground that spread out as you channel. You can channel mana into your runes, upgrading and detonating them. We'll see on this one. Anytime you have to like sit there and channel something, it's kind of not good, especially in this clear speed thing. You kind of just want to like zoom, you should do an action, shoot your stuff out, and it should kind of just be killing stuff right away. Ooh, we've got some new armor. 2 different banners at the same time. Okay. Banners you're carrying gain 1 stage on melee hit, up to 5 per second. And then, extra war banner, dread banner, adrenaline, fortify duration. Okay, I mean, melee buff, lol. Some like evasion ES gloves, sapping enemies in chilling area. They take increased lightning damage. Okay, that's pretty snazzy. Take increased lightning damage, that's really good. Discipline of Kitava. Every second, consume a nearby corpse to recover 5% of life and mana. Wow, 10% more damage if you haven't consumed a corpse. Yeah, I mean, we'll see about that one. Jewel Socket has 20% increased effect. Oh, I saw this in the trailer. Per allocated passive skill between it and your class's starting location. So 20% increased effect of the 5 dex and 5 mana. So these things are going to be pretty good for those dex stacking builds, especially if you can get something like, I don't know, dex and like, who knows what the other roll could be. Hopefully it's not just dex and mana. Hopefully they can roll other things. But that would be pretty cool. You get like a huge dex gem, and then maybe it's like flat fizz, maybe it's just a bunch of life. We're going to have to see. More div cards, I mean, it's just like, you just pick it up, and sometimes you get 5 fossils. This is pretty cool. You get a Dying Sun. Of course, if you've got money, you buy the supporter packs if you like them. More like cool stuff. I don't know. It looks cool. I imagine there's going to be some pretty cool trees going on. It's probably going to be pretty hard for those people like Mercury Trade or Path of Building who have to kind of figure these things out with, socketing the jewels. Hopefully GGG makes it a little easy for them so we can actually putz around with that stuff. Whereas with these Legion jewels, obviously they can't have all the information, or else everybody would have all the numbers data mined, exactly what they need to be looking for, and everybody already knows, what numbers are the best for the jewels. Hopefully it's not a situation like that where everything needs to be hidden. We should have that ability in Path of Building to kind of make our own jewels, socket them, and kind of see what's going on and actually have those numbers be accurate. Best part about this league, wow, Spooky League releasing March 13th. That's Friday the 13th. They're releasing the Spooky League. How great is that? All right. Don't want to keep you guys too long. There's really not too much information. I will be posting an Imgur, or Imgur, if you want to be that guy, in the description. It's going to have... I kind of like cropped a bunch of the jewels and stuff. If you just want to look at the pictures, see, each of the jewels, every description, I kind of cropped a lot of that stuff out, and each of the little passive things, just so you don't have to go through the whole video, pause, play, pause, doing all of that. You can just look at the pictures, and that'll be down in the description. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. We'll be posting many more videos and a sick league start video to help you guys, and of course, help myself out for this league start so we can all have a great one and make a ton of currency. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.